big weekend, Southern and Grambling today up at the Mini Dome, FG Clark Activity Center. I invite the entire city of Baton Rouge and the entire surrounding area to come out today and watch some good basketball, both men and women basketball in a rivalry game, hardwood, right? The Bayou Classic on the hardwood gets no better here in the state of Louisiana. Okay, let's look back at last week, right? Southern and Florida A&M took on each other, and let's start on the women's side because Southern got it done. 77-61, Southern University women's basketball team, Coach Carlos Funches, defeat Florida A&M in that ball game. The Southern women team shot 28 of 60 for 46%, 6 of 16 from the three-point line, shooting 37%, and 15 of 20 from the free throw line, shooting 75%. And then on Thursday, as they move forward, Southern did not have a game. But looking back at other games on last Saturday, they shaped up things. Alabama State lost to Jackson State on the women's side, 74-44. Alabama A&M women with a 10-point victory over Alcorn State, 66-56. How about Bethune-Cookman going on the road up there at Grambling, getting the victory 70-52, and then Mississippi Valley. How about Valley? Women's team getting that victory over, you remember her name, Sandy Pugh, former Southern head women's basketball coach, now over at Prairie View. Valley gets the victory 69-52. And then on Thursday, Florida A&M gets the victory over Mississippi Valley on the women's side, 88-60. Prairie View, 10-point victory over Alcorn State, 62-52. Bethune-Cookman, 62-58 over Pine Bluff. And then what we believe, I don't know if it was an upset, but it caught a lot of people's attention. Texas Southern women getting a victory over Jackson State, 69-54 over Jackson State. Matchups around the SWAC today, aside from the Southern Grambling matchup. You're going to have Jackson State taking on Prairie View. Mississippi Valley State taking on Bethune-Cookman. How about the Alabamas? Alabama State versus Alabama A&M. I guess you can call that the Magic City Classic on the hardwood, just like the Bayou Classic on the hardwood. Then you got Alcorn State and Texas Southern and UAPB taking on Florida A&M on the road, all on the women's side. And let's look at the women's standing starting from the bottom. Currently, the Golden Lions, UAPB women's basketball, 0-4 in conference play. They are at the bottom of the standings. Right above them, Mississippi Valley's in there at 1-4 in conference play. Alcorn State at 1-3. Then you got a couple teams all lined up with just two wins. Prairie View 2-3. Alabama State 2-2. Bethune-Cookman 2-2. Florida A&M and Grambling along all together 2-2 in conference play. And then we look at the upside of everything on the women's side in the SWAC standings. Southern University, Alabama A&M, and Jackson State, all 3-1 and at the top of the standings. I just told you about them. Texas Southern women's basketball team, who currently have victories over Jackson State and Southern, two teams right one game out of first place behind them on that side of things. And then now, let's go back to last week as now we switch and transition to men's basketball. Southern had Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman. Southern took on Florida A&M on last Saturday, getting the victory 91-57, and I'm talking about a blowout. Shooting 33 of 62 in this ball game for 53%, 10 of 22 from the three-point line, shooting 45%, and 15 of 23 from the free throw line, shooting 65%. Southern gets the victory 91-57. And on Monday, finally got it done after going 0-3 against Reggie Theus and Bethune-Cookman last week. The Jaguars get it done at home, 69-53 over Bethune-Cookman. And that Bethune-Cookman team is no slouch. I'm here to tell you, they are a good ball club, but that Southern team, and I'll talk about what I like about Coach Johnson and that roster. Southern in this game against Bethune-Cookman shooting 26 of 67 for 38%, 4 of 17 from the three-point line, shooting 23%, and 13 of 22 from the free throw line, shooting 59%. What I really want to see this team get better at is free throw shooting. Honestly, I'm sitting there watching these guys. They have to get better at the free throw line. But right now, what I do like, the way Coach Johnson is managing the roster, keeping fresh legs in. This team has depth. This team really does have depth, and you're starting to see it in ball games as they wear teams down. All right, let's look around the SWAC at other games on last Saturday. Of course, I mentioned Southern beat Florida A&M 91-57. Bethune-Cookman went on the road up in North Louisiana to take on Grambling 65-59. The Wildcats get the victory over the Tigers. Jackson State 7-point victory at home over Alabama State, 77-70. Alcorn State defends home court over Alabama A&M, 62-52, and then Prairie View gets the victory on Saturday, 74-65 over Mississippi Valley State. And then on Monday, had plenty of games around the conference to go with. Prairie View 75, the Golden Lions of UAPB 64, Texas Southern 82, Mississippi Valley 53. Alcorn rolled on 67-65 over the Hornets of Alabama State. Jackson State in 3 overtimes. Man, what a thriller in Jackson, Mississippi over Alabama A&M. 103-93 broke the scoreboard to keep that game going in 3 overtimes. And then Grambling getting this victory over Florida A&M, 79-72. All right, let's look at the SWAC standings right now. Start from the bottom and work our way to the top. Mississippi Valley 0-4 at the bottom. Then you have 2 teams tied at 0-3. Florida A&M Rattlers and the Golden Lions of Pine Bluff. Both those teams winless along with Mississippi Valley in SWAC conference play. Grambling State, who will be coming in here today, 1-3 on the men's side, 3 games out of first place. 2 teams tied at 2-2, and they'll take on each other today, the Alabamas. Alabama A&M and Alabama State, both 2-2 in conference play. Alcorn State tied along with Texas Southern and Bethune-Cookman, all at 2-1. Bethune-Cookman, Texas Southern, and Alcorn. And then right there, Jackson State 3-0, Southern 4-0, and Mississippi Valley 1 game out of both those spots at 3-1. Should be interesting. Let's look at some matchups right around the conference today as we're talking about on the men's side. Let's see what's interesting, right? Because that's what we always looking at, the interesting matchups. Jackson State and Prairie View, might be interesting. What you think? The Bama State schools, that should be always interesting when you get those schools going together. I don't think anything could be interesting about this Bethune-Cookman, Mississippi Valley, Florida Pine Bluff, Florida A&M and Pine Bluff. Somebody got to get a victory. Texas Southern Alcorn. I don't know. No, it's at Texas Southern. That's a tough place to get a victory. Nobody just walks into Texas Southern and get a victory. What Southern did, huh? I guess, but Alcorn ain't Southern. All right, let's look at on Monday games around the conference. Alcorn State taking on Prairie View, Mississippi Valley State taking on Florida A&M, UAPB taking on Bethune-Cookman, and Jackson State taking on Texas Southern, all on the road. And you know what? I forgot a game that we're going to talk about here on Thursday night. Southern University women's basketball on Thursday did not have a game, but there were games played. Florida A&M 88-60 over Mississippi Valley. Prairie View 10-point victory. Texas Southern got Jackson State, and Bethune-Cookman 62-58 over Pine Bluff. Now, what I'm about to say moving forward is the lack of enthusiasm I have been seeing at Southern University home basketball games, both at the Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman game. I don't want that oozing over into today's ball game, ladies and gentlemen. If you out there listening, if you've not been to a game or if you've been to the game, you're going to have to find a way to bring some energy into that dome. Energy. Man, when I say you guys just sit there, you're quiet. Now, there are some people in there that I have to give credit to. I don't know you personally, but I see you when I'm down there yelling and cheering. And I'm typically right there next to the visiting bench. Let me tell you something. Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman team don't like me. I can tell you that right now. They don't like me. They don't know me, but they for sure don't like me. Because I made sure I made my presence felt in the dome for those 2 games, man. Home opener conference play for our teams. Gonna need it today from you guys, though. You got to get loud. You got to make noise. When visiting teams are shooting free throws, the only people out here are the cheerleaders stumping around talking about miss it. What are we doing? Right? When the team has big plays, what are we doing? And I'm so serious. Most of all, we got to get you in the dome. The attendance the past 2 games, I'll be honest with you, was not good. This Southern men's basketball team is really good. I think it is something that you guys should come out. Coach Johnson has put together a good product. I like it. And the way he works that roster and continues to rotate it, I like it. Coach Funches doesn't have a bad product either. Obviously, that loss on the road at Texas Southern, you see it a lot different as Texas Southern is at the top of the food chain in the SWAC right now. Southern men and women traditionally have had good basketball programs that need our support. We keep talking about what we want in terms of these players and everything, but you got to understand you have to show up to the game to make the players say that is a place I want to go play besides the money. And Coach Funches told you what we're doing, cost of attendance. Come on, people. I'm not pleading with you. I'm telling you. Ain't no time to plead with you. We're too far in the game. Too much skiing in right now. You got to show up and you got to make your presence felt. Is my man Coach Johnson saying, Coach Carlos Funches, give the refs hell. Y'all too fancy. Y'all too boo. I don't know what we have become as a fan base when it just comes to cheering on our teams, because this is over in football too. Y'all almost make it seem like it's something wrong to get up and cheer and to be loud and be. Everybody just want to sit back and beat somebody. Administrators, I'm talking to you too. Get loud. I don't care who you are. If you in there with your in a seat, cheer on the team. You ain't there. Nobody cares about your title today. We only care about the coach title. Who's the coach? Because somebody got to take the blame and the loss, and somebody got to take all the cheers and the joys and the win. But you guys, fans, administrators, and everybody else, we got to do better. And I'm here to call you out and tell you, you got to do better. Because I'm watching and I'm seeing it. I don't like it. Who are we? We'll see what the student body does today. I'm curious about them too. Because I'll talk about the student body if they don't get it together. Just sitting there, watching, looking. You got to do better than that, man, because I ain't feeling it. Y'all don't understand. I go to games outside of the Southern games. I'm a true fan when it comes to sport. I stand up. I'm loud. I'm boisterous. I yell at officials because I'm yelling at y'all now. I yell at players, coaches. I yell at everybody. My presence is felt. I'm a true fan. And I will stand up, cheer, yell. But y'all better get it together.